We are Motorhead, and we're gonna kick your ass. If I had to pick one single lyric, my favorite, Orgasmatron. I am the one, Orgasmatron, the outstretched, grasping hand. My image is of agony, my servant raped the land. Obsequious and arrogant, clandestine and vain. 1,000 years of misery and torture in my name. Hypocrisy made paramount, paranoia the law. My name is called religion, sadistic, sacred whore. I twist the truth, I rule the world. My crown is called deceit. I am the emperor of lies. They grovel at my feet. I rub you and I slaughter you. Your downfall is my game. And still you play the sycophant and revel in your pain. I might be screwing a little bit of it up. The thing that I admired about them, even growing up, before I knew them or before I really knew that much about them even, was that they didn't waver. They never changed. They were who they were. And they always stayed that way. I remember thinking when Metallica first got really big, and everybody was like, man, they're so different because they're not that glam. They just go out on stage in jeans and t-shirts and play. And I'm thinking like Motorhead. You know what I mean? They're like the newer version of that in a way. They made the music that they like to make, and they had the sound that they like to have, and they had the look that they like to have, and they didn't change it for anybody. No record label told them you need to spray your hair up real big. No record company told them you need to change your sound to be more mainstream. They did what they did, and whether they were successful or not, I think that's why they have such a big cult following among fans. It seems like Motorhead is kind of one of those things where like you either love them or you couldn't give a shit about them, and I think that's because of their image. They don't care whether you like them or not. They're gonna make and do what they do, and that's it. Like 8 years ago or so, I was in a period of time with my career where I was moving up and becoming I had become a major star within the industry and one of the top performers, and I wanted new music, something that was more fitting to what I was doing. I wanted to have a certain vibe when I walked out, and that vibe to me was what Motorhead was. It was what my character was. I wasn't the pristine pretty boy. I wasn't the nice guy anymore. I was rough and tumble, and my face is scarred up, and when I'm out there, I'm all taped up and I'm injured, and I'm fighting people and kicking ass and hitting them with a sledgehammer and busting them open. And I mean that is my image, and that I felt like that was the sound of Motorhead was helped to convey that the game was written by our music guy, and Lem obviously put his twist on it, and they played it and stuff. But the difference between when they played it to me and gave me the first cut of it from the studio and stuff to what Lem did was a totally different song. You know what I mean? And the first time I heard it, I was like, fuck yeah, that is me right there. You know what I mean? And that's how Lem did it. Lem didn't know who I was. They said, we got this call from these wrestling guys and want you guys to record this song. They're willing to pay us this, okay, And Lem said he went in there and they played him the song, and he was like, "This is fucking terrible." You know what I mean? Like I don't like this. I don't want to play this. Like what is this guy? Like, well, give me a. And so he said they showed him some pictures of me. I don't remember if they showed him a video, but they showed him pictures of like me, like doing really intense stuff where he was like, "Fuck, all right, I'll do that." You know what I mean? And he made that sound. And I think that's why it works so well for me. The song does. But the songs for us, it's that immediate emotional rush. When a fan is in the arena, and there's 70,000 people or whatever it is, and that first chord of my music hits, and you hear Lem say, "Time to play the game," everybody stands up, shit's on. I mean, it's a huge moment, and everybody's music is that way. But I'm biased, but I feel like I have the most powerful music in the business, you know what I mean? And it's because of them. But, since then they played me to the ring a few times, which, much to Lem's dismay, he constantly makes a point that every time they've played me to the ring, I've lost, And almost every time he comes to see me, I lose. So he's like, "I think I'm a bad luck charm for you, or something." But, he's not a big wrestling fan, so he just sits in his limo outside and he waits in the underneath parking area at Staples Center. He just waits in his car, and they come and get him the match before mine. They bring him out to the crowd, and they put him in a seat, and he waits. He watches my match, and I talk to him for a second, and then he leaves and tells me, "I'll be in my car when you're done," and I go grab a shower or do whatever and come out and sit in the car, and we bullshit for a while and talk, and he always brings me some kind of new demo he's working on or something. And So it's been a very cool relationship. There's a definite parallel in our business to that business in that, you know, we run the gamut of people either love us or hate us. You know, there's also like you were saying, the parallel of you know, the image of what you are. You know, when people judging a book by its cover, when you say, oh, you know, I'm a wrestler for the WWE or something, you must be a genius. You know what I mean? Or they just have a different opinion of what you are and what you know. I've done movies in Hollywood and done other TV shows and stuff like that. And every time I do it, it's almost at the end they're almost the same. Like, God, we were really impressed. We didn't really expect, like, you know, you to be intelligent and, you know, like, oh, I think they thought I was going to go in there like, me do a show, you know, or something like that. And I think they think the same with Lem. You know, it's I know when I first met him, you know, I really didn't know what to expect. You know, here you see this, you know, this gravelly voiced guy that looks like he's been through the ringer a few times, you know, and you know, and not that Lem's the most attractive guy in the world to start with, although he does fairly well with the naked chicks, as I see regularly when I see him. He's always got a different broad with him. But, you know, I think people expect one thing when they see him, but when you talk to him and when you actually sit down and talk to him, he's very smart, man. He's very, like I say, he's almost philosophical sometimes, the way he says things, but it's very simplified. You know, it's almost, he doesn't say a lot, but when he does, it's almost like, well, he summed that all up pretty well. You know what I mean? It's, he's definitely a guy that you can't judge a book by its cover. I think there's a similarity of that to us too, you know, in our business, just of that image is always out there. People have a preconceived notion of what we are, you know, and I think they do of Lem, and I think they do of Motorhead as well. You know, most people that are Motorhead, they've never even heard the band, you know. At Wrestlemania, not sure which one. I think it was Seattle. I think we were at the big dome in Seattle, and they played. And what I remember about that gig was they showed up for rehearsals probably sometime early afternoon, like 1 o'clock or something, and they looked like hell. You know, Lemmy was all shaking like a leaf, and you know, they'd been out all night on some bender, and you know, came in and they were a wreck, and they, you know, they played the song when they recorded it, and they hadn't played it since then. And Todd had been trying to get Lemmy to listen to it to memorize it, and he hadn't. And like, so they got up there and they're trying to play the song, and they're fighting like little kids, like, fuck you, you don't even know how to play the fucking thing, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're trying to play it, and to the point where Kevin Dunn, our director, gets me on headset, and he's like, should we just pull the plug on this thing? Like, this is, I don't know if we should take the chance of this. This is embarrassing. Like, it's going to be embarrassing for you, maybe. And I said, no, you know, I talked to Todd, and Todd was like, you know, sorry, they need to get right. You know what I mean? And it'll be fine tonight, you know. And I said, let's take his word for it. And, you know, I think it'll be okay, you know. And even Lem had said to me, he's like, you know, no, don't pay no attention to what we're doing now. It'll be fine tonight. Don't worry. When it's time, I'll be ready. And, so, but I was really nervous about it, you know, like, these guys, I hope they don't, you know, because I didn't know them, and I thought, like, man, they're not even taking this shit seriously, and there's going to be, I think we had like 80,000 people there, and, you know, it's like our Super Bowl, right? And so I remember I went in their room shortly thereafter, like, in their, like, one of the things I noticed, I walked in the room, and there was like a little pack of like luncheon meat, and then like booze. Like, their whole rider was just booze, like, all. You know, and I thought, like, oh, that's, there's like a loaf of bread, some ham or something like that, and a fucking big thing of booze and shit. I thought, well, that ought to help, you know. So then I left, and then I came back like maybe 2 matches before mine, and just to go in there and say, hey guys, let's fucking kick some ass and stuff. And I went in there, and like almost all the booze was gone. It was like just all spread out, the bottles on the floor and shit in the trash. There was like a couple left on the thing, you know, and like 2 pieces of bread were gone, you know. And but they were like different people, you know. Lem was going 1,000 miles an hour now. He was like, right, fuck yeah, let's do it. You know what I mean? And they were all up, and we went out there, and they, you know, and then they kicked ass, you know. But I remember leaving the room thinking, like, all right, this is gonna be okay. Like, they're different people. Like, I see what the guy was doing, like Todd was talking about now. Like, they needed to get their shit. They needed to get back on the on the train to get to where they needed to be. And once they did, I mean, it was awesome. You know, they played me to the ring, and worked out well. Lem didn't know any of the lyrics, but that worked out okay. You know, I mean, nobody really could tell but me. You know, I'll get people bring me Motorhead stuff to sign. I get I actually was going to wear one today. I get fans all the time, like when I'm overseas, especially. Fans bring me Motorhead shirts from the tours that they were on. Like I have ones from, you know, with the Upside Down writing from their Australia tour from last time they were there. The fans just brought me, you know, into the towns and stuff. They're always asking me to sign stuff from Motorhead, or, you know, I'll get pictures with, you know, the whole band is signed. They want me to sign it too, and I get that a lot, and especially in places like I can tell where they're really big. You know, still like when we go to Germany. It's funny, we were there maybe about a year and a half or 2 years ago or something like that, and they had done this new song, King of Kings, for me, which I still use the game song, but what they were doing was a lead-in with the King of Kings song and then breaking into the other song. So they would play for about maybe like I don't know, 45 seconds of the King of Kings song, and the whole play, like they knew the lyrics. It had just come out like that month, and they were all chanting the lyrics, and like the whole place, it looked like a concert. You know, like I was standing in the back looking through the curtain thinking, holy shit, how do they know this? You know what I mean? And they were all just like doing the stuff to the song. It was amazing, you know, but they're big there, you know. I mean, people react to the music, but that was, I mean, they were reacting solely to Motorhead at that point in time. It wasn't even because I was coming out, you know, in certain places. I mean, I'll see 50 signs in the crowd, you know, for Motorhead, or for, you know, for me and Motorhead, or for, you know, their shirts or stuff like that, you know what I mean? You know, it's a funny thing. Like fans for us, you know, I'm sure as they do for them too. They bring us, you know, they bring you little knickknacks or gifts or something like that. You know, I get Motorhead stuff all the time from Japan. I get Motorhead stuff all the time from like Australia. You know, Germany fans always bringing stuff. You know, Europe especially, it seems like it's really big there. And I just did. We just opened up an office in Brazil, and. So I did a media tour, like where they brought in a whole bunch of their media from Brazil in to talk to me, and I did like 4 interviews with 4 different like big TV stations, like, you know, really big stuff for there. And the first question all 4 asked me was, is it true that you and Lemmy from Motorhead are very close friends? That was the first question they asked me each time, you know what I mean? You know, to be associated with that is big for me. But I think at the same point in time for them, you know, we're huge with kids and teenagers and stuff like that. And I think, you know, I know even just my nephew, who would have never picked up on Motorhead, it wasn't around him. All his friends were into hip hop and all that stuff. And, you know, I know he's probably got 10 Motorhead songs in his iPod because of that, because he likes my music, my entrance music. So he goes online and finds songs that he likes from them, you know. And if you look at it honestly, Lem 62, he shouldn't be doing what he does. He shouldn't be rock and rolling. He shouldn't be on stage, you know, playing the kind of music he does, especially. I mean, it's crazy, you know, but that's who he is. And I admire that, man. I admire that. I mean, you see it in a band, you see it in his music, you see it in his life. He doesn't waver. He is who he is. And that's it's going to be that way until the day he no longer is. You know, he's just going to be Lem, and he's going to be fucking playing the music he wants to play, and, you know, doing the things he wants to do and the chicks he wants to do, and all of it, and it's just going to continue to go until one day it's just gone.